do it. Let's do it. You can see all the little blemishes on my face, especially that letter. So, hello. It is Alyssa, and that was just cheesy and scary. Okay. I hope you all are doing well. It has been a very long time. I know. But the main reason why I have been gone is actually really not all that exciting. I know the world has been going crazy lately. 2020 has been it's been a year for sure. You know, it's the end of July when I'm filming this, and it's already just crazy. We all know that, and all I can say is I hope that you guys are doing well. That's the best I can do right now, because I know there's just been a lot going on for all of us. But I have been gone just because I have had issues with my software that I use for editing and my computer. It's really not all that exciting. But I am finishing school finally. Very, very close. Very, very close. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm very close to finishing school now, which is awesome. And I've been very busy with my new-ish job. It's not really new anymore. I've been there for a year now, but it still feels new to me. I've just been focusing on that, and then I finally got my crap figured out for this video stuff. So I decided to finally make a video. I actually did have a video that I was editing and working on for a long time, but I lost it, unfortunately. You know, that sucks. Really sucks when you spend all your time on a video and then you edit it and you really aren't a good editor, so it takes you a long time to edit it, and then you lose it because the software crashes on you. Yeah, I lost it. I was working on it for a while and I was proud of it. But, you know, that's in the past now. So we'll just move away from that and focus on this video today. This may be the first part of a more than one part at least video, because this part might be very long, and yeah, I don't want to go on extremely long or it's just going to get boring, and I know nobody's just going to stay and watch me ramble on for like over an hour. So this video is most likely going to be in more than one part. Today's video is going to be focused on kind of updating you guys, I guess, on just my language issues, I guess I could say. Since, you know, the last time I did film it, I have had a few people ask me if I could do that, and I think it would be a good idea too, because I've gotten plenty of questions and just comments and things, and I thought it would be nice to do that, especially for those of you who have asked for it. You know who you are, and I apologize for taking so long. Part of that is just because of me losing the other video, so I'm very sorry for that. And my eyelash. False eyelashes suck. Okay. I thought I would just go through my old video, my very first one I did on it, that is called My Language Disorder. And got a lot more views than I thought it would, and that's pretty crazy to me. Hopefully this video won't be too boring for you guys. Let's see if I can make this worth your while. It's been a long time, so I think I've kinda lost a little bit of my I don't even know what I was gonna say. Anyways, as you guys can see, I'm still my weird self. Anyways, let's just go right into my first video, and I'll find some comments there to answer. I'm going to keep the names anonymous just because, you know, security purposes, privacy purposes. So many of you on this certain video have come out and mentioned to me that you have someone in your life who has these same issues that I do. Either if it's a daughter or son or loved one or whoever. That has really opened your eyes to what they may be experiencing, or has helped them understand what that person is going through. One person specifically did say that, and I think that's awesome. If my little old low quality video could help people really understand what other people are going through with this kind of illness, disorder, whatever you want to call it, it makes me feel really good inside, actually. Like, thank you to everyone who has said anything along those lines. That's great. I appreciate that, and I literally to this day still read these comments. I go back and I see if somebody has commented. I don't necessarily comment back, but I do read everything, and I like anything that I can, and I appreciate everyone who commented and who appreciates my video. Also, so many there it is. Anyways, so many of these people are also saying, oh wow, like, someone is actually making a video about something that I have. Like, I couldn't find anybody else being open about this on YouTube, or somebody also has said that they always knew something was wrong with them, but they weren't diagnosed with it till they were almost 32 years old, which for me, when I was almost 13, I believe, when I was diagnosed, so that's pretty late to be diagnosed with that kind of thing. I know a lot of times it happens more like when you're a very young child. So I just, to you who waited so long to get diagnosed with this, I feel for you. And wow, I'm grateful that you finally were able to find someone else who was maybe a little bit like you. I can't imagine having to wait until you're in your 30s to be diagnosed with something like that. I have kind of a question here that says, what did you do in speech therapy? This person thinks that they have something similar that I do, or the same thing. They're having some personal issues with that. And all I say to that is, please get yourself the best self-help you can. Try and educate yourself on it. I'd be happy to talk to you more about it. And I will come back to you so you know who you are and help you out more if you really were still having trouble with that. Again, their question was, what did you do in speech therapy and how long were you in speech therapy for? Basically, to keep it simple, speech therapy for this kind of issue is really all about focusing on reading comprehension and strengthening those kinds of areas that might be a little weak for you personally. And for me, it's comprehension. And also, as well as reading comprehension, you also work on how to speak properly, how to understand things like abstract speech versus logical speech. I know I have a lot of difficulty with abstract speech, and I have, I'm very logical when it comes to things, and it might be difficult for me at times to understand when someone is being abstract or when they're not. Things like that. More generalized things like that. And definitely, though, they can personalize the therapy to you. For me, my speech therapy, it was like give or take 6 months or so. I think a little more than 6 months, though. Probably say about 9 months. I think it really depends on the personally for you what you need and how severe the issue is. Now we're on to more of a generalized question, which is, this person has what I have and is wondering if there is any specific treatment, any support groups, any therapies, or if there's like a website out there they can try or anything like that. First thing, I don't know about websites exactly, but lots of times there are usually like forums or something that you can get support from. If you just search online, you can find a lot of support groups. I have other issues that I deal with that I do have support groups for online that have big forums that can really help you out, and I would definitely suggest to people who are having trouble with this to look up, just search it online and see if you can find someone to talk to. It's really nice to be able to talk to someone who is going through exactly what you're going through. As for therapy, really the only thing I can suggest is speech therapy. That's what you are going to need first and foremost. And if there's something else that's kind of troubling you because of this language disorder. Like maybe you're super shy or social anxiety or depression or whatever. That's when seeing a counselor, therapist, psychologist, or whatever, whoever you can find, is a good thing to do as well. So many people are telling me in this comment section that they are glad to know they aren't alone. I'm very thankful for that. I know the feeling, I really know the feeling. And yeah, trust me, any issue you have, you are not alone. Somebody else is going through the same thing. I know it might be a little hard to think about sometimes, but lots of times there is someone who is going through something even worse than that. And it kind of humbles you a bit and you think, wow, I'm really lucky to, have my life, or have a person I love in my life with me, or have a home, or have my pet, my cat, my dog to care for and cuddle, like whatever you are grateful for. And just think that there's someone out there who has it a lot worse than you. Someone asked me if I had speech delay as a child. And then yeah, I definitely did, for sure. Even though, as I've said before, I wasn't diagnosed until later. I was about 13 years old, but definitely as a child I did have speech delay. Not badly, but it was there. And part of it is from other issues that I have, but for sure I think it could also partly be because of the language issue too, whatever I'm trying to say, I don't know. And someone did ask about if there is any kind of similarities of this with autism, like being on the spectrum or anything like that, and that is funny because since my last video on this, the whole language disorder thing was actually removed from the DSM-5. That's what I said in the last video. And now a lot of what this falls under is under the autism spectrum. At the same time, I'm not on the spectrum. It's kind of that thing where you don't really meet enough of the requirements. But I definitely still have this issue. But it is actually, I think, I don't know if it is completely related. Yeah, I feel like in a way it could be because of the fact that people with autism tend to have, issues with being able to speak clearly or clearly express themselves through speech, or understand what others are saying or how they mean to say something. Difficulties with, understanding abstract language, that kind of thing. So it does make sense that those things do seem to be related. Just at the moment don't really know exactly where I fit, because of the fact that this whole mixed expressive receptive language disorder doesn't really exist in the DSM-5 anymore. That is an issue. I might still do some more research on that because it's really interesting to me and I don't know why they did it. So I'll try doing that, maybe if I feel like it, at some point. I also got lots of comments just saying that this video's opened their eyes, and that just makes me very happy. I really want to open people's eyes. enable people to realize that we do have trouble speaking sometimes, but I mean, it's almost just like a quirk, just like anything else. The way mental illness is just, it's kind of a way of categorizing and trying to make a sense of something in a person's brain that is more off than we expect it to be, than what is considered normal. And then when it meets the criteria for said mental illness or said disability, then it's seen as abnormal. I just like to think of that as just, that's kind of just the way your brain has been taught to think, or respond to whatever situation you may be dealing with, or sometimes that's just the way you were born. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just another thing, and I just like to make it a little more normal, so I'm just a weirdo. I've always been. I also I have language issues and a whole bunch of other issues, and depression that I have talked about before. Other issues that I haven't talked about before, but that's okay. Lots of us have issues. Lots of us have serious issues that we will never talk about and never get diagnosed with because we're too afraid to say anything. Because people will look at us differently. And I just want to say, to those of you who feel that way, that most of the time, people will not look at you any differently. Most of the time, people might actually be able to relate. The point is that most of the time, people won't look at you any differently for having an issue. And if they do, they're just not worth your time. Because trust me, I bet they also have an issue themselves. So anyways, like I said before, this is going to end up being put into more than one part. For sure. This has gone way too long. So this was the first part. That's 2 fingers, first part. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. I just really wanted to make a video because honestly, it's been so long. Thank you very much for watching and staying with me if you did. And if you like what you saw, I would just love it if you subscribed or at least like the video. I hope you are all doing well, especially in these very dark times. And I will see you all soon, hopefully. Bye-bye!